Metallica, Santa Claus, and watermelon are all on this day. Hey, welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is August 3rd, 2020. It is the 216th day of the year. There are 150 days left in 2020. It's the 31st Monday and the 44th day of summer. We got 50 days until fall. Today is National Watermelon Day. National Watermelon Day encourages the consumption of watermelons. Watermelons can lower the risk of heart disease, reduce hypertension, and are fun to punch. I don't know why, I've just always enjoyed punching watermelons. Every time we get one, if it's sitting there, I just punch it really quick. Not hard enough to break it, but I just gotta punch them. It's like a weird obsession I have. About 92% of a watermelon is water, making it a very popular, refreshing fruit. Watermelon promotes cardiovascular health, bone health, and prevents prostate cancer, gentlemen. Women, too. Sadly, a girl I dated died of prostate cancer, and she's a female. All right, let's see what else August 3rd is giving us. 1921, Major League Baseball Commissioner Landis confirms the ban of 8 of the Chicago Black Sox the day after they were acquitted by a Chicago court. This was part of a game-fixing scandal where players from the Chicago White Sox, who they became known as the Black Sox, were accused of throwing the 1919 World Series against the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for money from a gambling syndicate led by Arnold Rothstein, Aiden Clayton, and Aaron Nelson. Although they were acquitted, they were still banned from professional baseball and will never get to the Hall of Fame. It's been, over 100 years and they're still not in the Hall of Fame, and some of them were really good players back in the day. 1946, Santa Claus Land, the world's first themed amusement park, opens in Santa Claus, Indiana. Today, it's known as Holiday World and Splash and Safari. The theme park is divided into 4 sections that celebrate Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and the 4th of July with rides and live entertainment, things like that. Now, I did this whole video on my other channel about top 10 abandoned amusement parks, and this was one of them, and I got really into reading this because we had one in Southern California that was up near, I think, Arrowhead or whatever, but I think I'd been there twice. Wasn't much of a theme park when you're going to places like Magic Mountain and Disneyland, but it was kind of interesting. They had like 4 of them around the country. One is still open in Indiana, I believe, but the one that was up near San Francisco is closed down, and the one in Southern California has turned into something else, and it's barely recognizable from what I understand. I've been there in years. But very interesting, the story of the guy who set these up. 1948, Whittaker Chambers accuses Algier Hiss of being a communist and a spy for the Soviet Union. During the pretrial discovery process, Chambers produced new evidence that he and Hiss had been involved in espionage. Hiss was indicted on 2 counts of perjury. After a mistrial due to a hung jury, Hiss was then tried a second time in January of 1950 and was found guilty and received 2 concurrent 5-year sentences, which he eventually just served 3.5. 1958, the world's first nuclear submarine, the USS Nautilus, becomes the first vessel to complete a submerged transit of the geographical North Pole. The nuclear propulsion allowed the Nautilus to remain submerged longer than diesel-electric submarines. Broke many records in the first year of operation. 1972, the United States Senate ratifies the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty. This was an arms control treaty between the United States and the Soviet Union on the limitation of anti-ballistic missiles. Back in the day, we were worried about being blown up by, missiles and nuclear weapons. I mean, it's still a fear to this day, but we got other problems. Anyway, in June of 2002, the United States withdrew from the treaty, leading to its complete termination. 1975, a private charter Boeing 707 strikes a mountain peak and crashes in Morocco, killing 188 people. It is the deadliest aviation disaster involving a Boeing 707, as well as the deadliest in Morocco. There was heavy fog in the area, and the aircraft was flying in from the northeast over the Atlas Mountains. As the 707 was descending from 8,000 feet for a runway approach, its right wing struck the mountain peak at 2,400 feet. The rest is history. So were all the people on board. 1977, the Tandy Corporation announces the TRS-80, one of the world's first mass-produced personal computers. The TRS-80 had a full-stroke QWERTY keyboard, the Z80 processor, 4 kilobytes of DRAM memory. The starting price was $600. However, these days that's about $2,500 for a computer. I had one of these. And even for the time, I thought it was a pain in the butt to get anything going on it. I didn't know enough. I just wanted to get right in. I'd had console systems like the Intellivision and things like that, and I just wanted it to work that way. It never did. Anyway, I didn't really get into computers till the Apple Plus came out, and that was the only Apple computer I ever owned. 1997, the tallest freestanding structure in the Southern Hemisphere, the Sky Tower in downtown Auckland, New Zealand, after 2.5 years of construction. The tower is designed to withstand winds in excess of 120 miles per hour and is designed to sway up to 39 inches in high winds. As a safety precaution, the Sky Tower lifts have special technology installed to detect movement such as swaying due to high winds and will automatically slow the sway down. 2004, the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty opens up after being closed since the September 11th attacks. Many tourist attractions around the world had been shut down for this period. Everyone was worried it was going to happen again. And I think to a degree, we are still worried this is going to happen anytime again. It's weird. Movies premiered on August 3rd, 2007, The Bourne Ultimatum. I'm a big fan of all of these movies. I loved every single one of them, even the one that didn't have Matt Damon in it. Had Jeremy Renner in it. Great movies. 2018, Christopher Robin is released. This is a story about a grown-up Christopher Robin. If you remember, he's Winnie the Pooh's friend. He rediscovers the joys of life with the help of, Winnie the Pooh. It's a great movie. Nice sit down and relax and enjoy it. I think I've watched it twice. Okay, so Born on August 3rd. I'm going to whip through these because there's a lot. 1940, Martin Sheen is born. 1941, Martha Stewart. 1950, John Landis. Actor, director, producer, and all-around really bitchin' dude. 1963, James Hetfield. He's an American singer-songwriter and guitarist. He is best known for being the co-founder and lead singer of the heavy metal band Metallica. 1977, Tom Brady is born. American football player. He spent the first 20 seasons of his career with the New England Patriots, playing in 9 Super Bowls and winning 6 of them. Because of his numerous records and accolades, many sports writers, commentators, and players consider Brady to be the greatest quarterback of all time. I still think Joe Montana was. 1984, Ryan Lochte, American swimmer and Jeez, if you ever want to get a good laugh, watch some of the interviews with this dude. He's a good-looking young man. He is dumb as mud. Oh my God. John Oliver showed a bunch of clips of his interviews, and the dude is ridiculously dumb. Felt sorry for him. Died on August 3rd, 1966. Lenny Bruce passes away. American comedian, actor, and screenwriter. He was like the counterculture stand-up comedian before George Carlin came around, and he talked about sex. And this is in the late 50s, early 60s. Talked about sex, the government, and all this stuff, to where he'd been arrested on stage before. Had the police showing up to his shows to make sure he didn't say anything weird. It was a mess, but he was groundbreaking, and he's a legend in the comedy world. All right, so that's today's list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day. Be nice to each other.